What's good, y'all? It's the girl Tika Deshawn of All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless Addicts, with just a little quick recap of the Oval episode 2 from season 5. It absolutely came in definitely crazy. What would you rate the episode? Check me out on Thursday so that we can all talk about the rating of episode 2, okay? So anyway, we see Nancy and she is tussling back and forth with Richard. The doctor walks in and tells Richard to leave the room. Richard is like, nope, I'm not leaving. Nancy says that he choked her. And then we get T, also known as Thaddeus from the Parkers. So then we see, but his name is Kenyatta Lawson. So shout out to him. I'm glad to see him back on the screen. Anyway, we see that he takes Richard and places him in handcuffs and escorts Richard out of the room after Nancy accuses Richard of putting his hands around her throat and applying pressure, y'all. Poor Nancy, poor Richard. Like I told y'all, these two are really, really going through it. We do know that Nancy still has some of those drugs in her system. But then we see our favorite Bobby baby, and he is laid out on the floor. However, he is not unalive. And just as I thought, he was popped by rubber bullets. Okay. I guess Sam was smart enough to not unalive him because he had so much to lose, especially with his job and talking about he needs the money. So I'm thankful that Sam did not unalive Bobby. This was just to teach Bobby a lesson. This was just to threaten Bobby, to let him know, don't mess with my woman. So in actuality, it was not a dream for those of you that thought it was a dream. And Priscilla should take her behind home and wash Sam's clothes just like he told her. So anyway, Priscilla is there. What do you need? What do you need? Oh my God, do we need to call the police? Do we need to call an ambulance? He's like, no, I'm fine. It's rubber bullets. You can just run me a cold shower and fix me a drink. And, Priscilla is acting weird. Like, she's acting like she wants to be there, but she doesn't. And he's like, you don't want me, and I know I don't want you. I was using you to get over her, and you were using me to get over him or to make him hurt the way that you're hurting, but this isn't going to work. So you might as well just leave. So she acts as if she's in her feelings about him telling her to leave. But girl, you had the opportunity to get some Bobby baby and you didn't. So just walk away gracefully. Like, don't walk away a sore loser. You know what I mean? I love you, Priscilla, but come on now. You can't get upset that this man doesn't want to continue to play the game that you're playing, especially after he's almost been taken out. If you look at his chest, y'all can see like those 3 dots on his chest. So then we see Sam and Max, and they're talking, and Max asks Sam, where's Bobby? And he asked him, he's like, did you go to that hotel? Of course he went to the hotel. Like, you knew where he was going. So Max calls Bobby and tells Bobby that he needs to, get into the White House because we got a situation. And he's just like, oh, Sam is there? Yeah, Sam is there, but that's not going to be a good look. I don't know if these two are going to get into another physical altercation. But I think Bobby is going to want to steer clear of Sam. No matter who Bobby is, no matter how bad his attitude can be, I think he's going to want to steer clear of Bobby because, as we know, these guys in particular are the ones that are responsible for guarding the vice president, now turned president. So we're going to see the interaction between Sam as well as Bobby. Will they act as if it never happened? Or will they still be going back and forth, griping and complaining about being around each other? That was pretty much it for the moment between Sam and Max. It was more, again, it was just all about talking about Bobby. So then we see the first lady, and she is talking to Cal, and she's asking Cal what happened and where's her son. She said, you let my son get away. You were responsible for him. So if you don't find my son in 24 hours, basically there's going to be a problem. Now, you know, Victoria is infamous for threatening people. I don't know how many people she's actually had unalived, but that is her MO. That's what she does. She threatens people because she thinks that because she is the first lady, everyone is supposed to be afraid of her, supposed to be intimidated by her, and she loves calling, you know, Kyle out of his name, girl, and all of that stuff. But Kyle is left there with her because Donald has to go in with Eli to get sworn in, and he tells Kyle, do not leave her alone. Do not leave her by herself. I don't want her to go in there with the president because, you know, Victoria will make a person, she will attempt to unalive somebody one way or another because they're still trying to figure out how it seemed as if she unalived Jason. So well, clearly that part, that little plan did not work, but that's the reason why Cal is stuck there to deal with Victoria and her shenanigans. And she walks off, and he says, I can't stand that bee. And I'm like, oh, me too, Cal. I can't stand that bee either. That bridge. I called it a bridge. So anyway, y'all, Victoria has walked off, and Cal is stuck there to guard the door. But then we see back at the hospital, we see T, also known as Thaddeus. He's in the police uniform, the doctor, as well as Richard. And they're telling him, well, Richard is telling the doctor that his wife went to a very bad place and they put all types of drugs in her system. Well, the doctor tells him, no, it's not just that there are drugs in the system. Have you ever heard of the angel's trumpet or the devil's breath? It's a very potent drug. And this is what your wife has ingested or she has on her person. It causes her to have all kinds of hallucinations, to say things that aren't really true. And so this is why Nancy is acting out the way that she is. So now that we know that there's a new ingredient added to Nancy's unfortunate mishap, her unfortunate life, that situation that's going on right now, everybody is clear. The police officer as well as the doctor are clear that Richard would never put his hands on his wife. He clearly loves her. So then we see Eli getting sworn in by this judge. He has officially become the next black president. Okay, so of course there's a pissing contest between Eli and Donald, and guess what, Donald, you are out of there. You no longer have a job. You no longer rule anything. You no longer even rule yourself. You and take your boy Cal right along with you. So Donald is dismissed by Eli, even though he's telling Eli there's some things that we need to fix up or we need to recover or whatever the case may be, or we need to go over all the fine lines of the White House. But Eli is like, look, I'm sick of you. I don't like you. I already know your MO. I know how you operate. I don't want you around me and my new administration. So he has kicked Donald to the curb and made sure told him to take Kyle with him, y'all. So after Donald is dismissed, he proceeds to go and bully somebody. And of course, that person he is bullying is the one and only Alonzo. He's trying to figure out where Alonzo got the drugs from that caused the president to OD. Of course, we know where Alonzo got the drugs, but Alonzo is not telling. He's actually not folding and telling them that he got the drugs from one of Alan's connects. So anyway, we see that Donald is threatening to take Alonzo out. He even has Cal put the blicky to Alonzo's head. And of course, he's threatening that if the president is unalived, he is going to be unalived as well. And he said that Cal says to Alonzo, you can either F him or you can either get unalived by him. Either way, you're screwed. So Cal got jokes. But then we see Alan at the police department, and he walks in and sees district attorney. I think she's a DA or a public something. She said her actual title was. So she's definitely federal, but we know Desiree as someone who is not playing around, but she's here to try to get Alan to turn on whoever he got those drugs from. And then she says to Cal to turn the camera off, and then she speaks candidly to him and tell him that the vice president is the one that sent them there. Well, Alan doesn't care, and all he wants is his lawyer. So he has lawyered up, and they're trying to trying to clear up a case. They're trying to get rid of the president and Victoria anyway, but Alan is not cooperating at all. So she says, "Okay, take him back to his cell." Gets on the phone, calls the vice president, I'm assuming, and lets him know that Alan does not believe what she's saying, and you're going to either have to come down here to talk to him, or I'm going to have to bring him to wherever you are. So she's working with someone. She's working with, she's supposed to be working with the president, the newly president, aka Eli. We'll see how true that actually is. She also has a rosary on. They went and was very specific and intentional about showing us that. I wonder what it means. So anyway, we see that she being Simone is in the bunker, and in walks Victoria. Victoria, of course, tells the agent, stand closely by, because they had that fight and Simone beat her behind, but Simone is absolutely capable of doing it again. So this is why Victoria has to make sure that there is security on hand to help her out just in case. So, of course, Victoria threatens Simone, let her know that we are going to unalive you and your children. I'm going to take over, and I'm going to be the grieving woman. And next thing we know, your husband are going to get married. So this lady thinks that she can remain the first lady and marry Eli. So she's letting her know she got feelings and they're going to be a good couple. But after she leaves, Simone is no fool, because Simone is getting all this information from her, and lo and behold, thankfully, somebody finally got a recorder. So Simone has this recorder. She has recorded this entire conversation between she and Victoria, and it's going down. I can already see the look in her face. So then we're at the hospital, and we see Dale as well as Kareem, and Kareem is unresponsive, but Dale is just letting him know, I'm here for you. I hope you can wake up so that we can talk to Sharon, so we can get Sharon out of trouble. And in walks the plug, the Connect. Okay, he is the reason for these bad drugs. He's one of the reasons, but there is also someone else that's connected, and Desiree and Cal, their goal is to take them down, y'all. That was the end of the episode. I hope you guys checked it out. If you didn't, I hope this recap kind of gave you some insight as to what went down on the Oval, in the Oval Office, outside the Oval Office, in the bunker, at the hospital, everywhere, y'all. So anyway, you guys, that's about it. Thank you all so much for tapping in and tuning in with your girl, Tika Deshawn. I will be coming back this week to do a live recap of the Oval. I hope you guys can tune in once I post it. I hope that you guys will set your notifications. Go to the post, set your notification and a reminder so that you can see this fun that we're going to have as we talk about the Oval, okay? All right, y'all, that's about it. Thank you so much for tapping in and tuning in with your girl, Tika Deshawn of All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless Addicts, and you already know, stay ruthless.